think I got enough space freed up for one of these without getting a scary notice. Um, oh, by the way,
Yes.
dude, that's my breaker panel, breaker box.
Oh, no way. Oh, I didn't
And
know it was
this
right there.
is a live wire.
Holy crap, dude. No, 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 no. You should have, I try to keep like those little wire. Oh, you remember because I left them at your house. Those little
Yeah,
wire
I just
nuts.
I can't find them, so I just bent it down below the wood for now.
That stuff is so scary. That
Yeah,
stuff is so scary. What are you drinking?
here.
You're drinking beer?
Yeah,
What is it like? Noon?
yeah, just about noon. Yeah,
That's amazing. I mean, even if I drank, I would not be able to, you know, I mean, it's just like coffee is the only thing that gets the murky away. It seems like beer
yeah.
would
It
drag it
wakes
in.
me. Well, I mean, yeah, I was gonna say it wakes me up, but that's not necessary. I mean, I just can't have certain. I mean, if I just ate a bagel from a local bagel shop, a garlic bagel, toasted with some
Yeah.
jalapeno cream and honey cream cheese
Okay.
on it,
Okay.
and tomato slice and like ground pepper and everything. I mean, if I have anything that has like a little bit of spice in it, I mean, I just feel like I have to have a beer.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that
Yeah. I
pretty
mean, just,
well.
just for the whatever flavor of it or, fe- you know, I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. Hey man, so before we get started, I just wanted to I'm gonna try to do this. Let me see if I can scoot the system back here. So I don't know if I told you this when I was up there, but we were out eating with my family a long time ago, maybe a year ago, at Charleston's in Fort Worth, right? We're sitting outside, and Oliver and Lena got whatever they got to drink, and they bring it in a styrofoam cup, you know.
Yeah.
And Oliver was, and our meal was over, and Oliver was just kind of dicking around, and he goes, I mean, it blew me away. He goes, "Hey, Dad," he goes, "Watch me. I'm gonna make this cup float." Okay. So I'm gonna do it on the camera, and I'm gonna do what he did. He was like this. He goes, "Check it out, Dad."
Wow. Yeah.
That's what he did. Like he had his pinky
That's
stuck through the
great.
bottom of it. It was so good. I was like, dude, I'm going to steal that from you, and then I'll
That's
give you credit
great,
for it. It was really good. It was really good.
man.
So speaking of Oliver, part of the reason we're doing this is because I love it that, and he says it out loud occasionally. Just I hate the Beastie Boys. He just says it, and
Good
it
for
makes
him.
people,
Good for
and
him.
it usually comes up in a conversation with other adults because, like, he knows all of this. I mean, except for the jazz stuff, really, like just all the same popular music that we know, and his retention of it is all great. If he's heard a Tom Petty song, I mean, he knows if it's a
Huh.
different Tom Petty song, and I mean, it's pretty astounding. And he'll go through like when he plays the drums, he'll go through some of my playlists, so
Yeah.
he knows all of the stuff that I actively listen to. But we were around an adult and having a conversation about music. And I said, "Hey, Oliver, you want to make her mad?" And he was like, "Well, what do you mean?" And I was like, "Tell her how you feel about the Beastie Boys." And he was like, "I hate the Beastie Boys. They are not good." And the lady said, I could see all of the energy drain out of her face. She was like, why did you say that? And I was like, see, Oliver, you're gonna make her mad. And he said, I listened to it and it just sounds like a bunch of kids screaming. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah. There we go.
And and I
There
was
we
like,
go.
It sure does." The lady, fortunately,
Yeah.
I said, "Did that hurt your feelings?" And she said, "I do love the Beastie Boys." And
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
then she said one that I think here's how, this is why I'm okay with the negative spin that you've always embraced, and stuff, is because it opens up conversations to tell somebody that you don't like something. I mean,
Yeah.
it sucks when
Good.
somebody's like, "Yeah, I like everything." And then I have to say, "Well, what's on your playlist? What are you playing in your car right now?" to get specific with
Yeah.
them.
People
But
feel like being watered down is a virtue, somehow.
it's not, and so the lady said, she said, "Well, I've got one for you that I've always been, looked down on for this." And I said, I mean, I'm not trying to make it about me, but I piped in before she could do it. And
Everybody's similar.
I said, "I hate the Beatles too."
Oh, no, I thought you were going to say something else. That's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and another, and the last thing I'll say about it is that, Oliver not liking the Beastie Boys, and in particular, he has said, and I can't help but agree, Elvis. And we've said, okay, well, let's sit down, we'll pick a couple songs and just make sure we don't like those people. So we listen to him. And his mom gets mad when you say you don't like something. When I say it, when he says it. And I said to her at one point, I was like, "Hey, that's how you develop your style. Your style is based on the stuff you like, but just as much or more, it's based on the stuff that you don't like. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what makes you have a particular flavor. It's okay to not like stuff. So give me some of your Beastie Boys."
Well, I mean, I was just kind of going to say, with what you're saying earlier about a bunch of kids screaming, it's just what immediately jumped to my mind is along those lines is like a daycare that's gone out of control,
Yeah.
like a like a bad daycare where there's like financial issues and trying to hold it
Too
together
many,
and
yeah, just too few. The ratio of
yeah, jaded
adults is not.
workers and yeah, that not they don't have like a real or good like a strong program or outline kind of keeping things in place and stuff. Yeah,
Right,
it
right,
seems like
right. Can
um
you
yeah, I mean,
can
I
I
don't, I remember, I remember just, obviously, well, my first memory of the Beastie Boys obviously was in 1986 or 7 or so, whenever the, License to Ill came out, which, came out at the same time as Run DMC Raising Hell.
right,
And those kind of
yeah,
seem like, like twin star albums or something. Um,
totally.
I totally, I mean, whatever. Run DMC's corny, I guess. I don't, but I just identified with that, and
Ditto,
I
yeah,
just in the same thing. It's just like I heard, there was a guy. I see. I was in seventh grade. There was a guy, the bad kid at the back of the bus. I rode a bus to school, and he had brought a boom box,
yeah.
and he would just sit back there and play shit. He would play both those albums on cassette.
Mm,
Um, and it's just, man, the Beastie Boys stuff just like really annoyed me. I mean, and my sister, she jumped all over it. She was just like team Beastie Boys, which was kind of goes, it just seems like a clear path.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's just a thing. They've got that thing that gets white people excited. It gets them excited and just like thinking the party started and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have power. It's like there's some kind of like energy going through the speakers and the music, and they're just like hopping on those coattails and riding the wave of excitement. Um, I just don't understand it at all. It's always, it annoyed me. I loved it. So at the time, I kind of said, like I'm a Run DMC person.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just enjoyed their shit at the time. I mean, yeah, I guess it kind of sounds a little dated now, but whatever. Um, the let's see, and on that, I made a Facebook post about the Beastie Boys 3 years ago, 4 years ago, or something. It was interesting. I said, um, I was talking about, I can't. Okay, I was basically saying like it's a, how people will say like, Beatles or Beach Boys, Led
Right,
Zeppelin
right,
or
right.
Black Sabbath. So I was kind of treating it like, Run DMC or Beastie Boys, and some people were like, I didn't really see a reason to choose. I liked both. And then some people were like, saying this or that, and I made some comment in my post about, like white boys, like they're just, like stupid white boys or something.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't say that exactly, just something white boys. And somebody wrote, it's like, what are you talking about? Why are you calling them white boys? And I was like, uh, and it was like, I said, like we're like question mark, or that was my response. I don't know. And they said they're Jewish. I was like, okay. I
Okay.
mean, are you telling me that I thought Jewish people were white? I don't know. I mean, like Italians or something, or
Yeah,
Greek.
right, right, right,
I
right,
mean,
right,
I
right.
just kind of, I was. It blew my mind a little bit that somebody would just like, because they were just like, "What the fuck are you talking? White? They're white? Yeah, yeah.
Uh yeah.
Do you
They're
have anything to say
white.
about that? I could
They're
go on forever.
yeah, I mean they're white like David Lee Roth is white. I mean, that's but okay, I wanted to try to put you on the spot because the reason we're doing this today is, you were talking about doing 8 tracks and stuff for Beastie Boys. It came up, and then you did the perfect impression of a Beastie Boys phrase.
Yeah,
And I was going to see if I could get you to recreate that for us. And I could hear
yeah.
it over and over.
It's just like, on the what Shake Your Rump is, which is the second song on Paul's Boutique. It's like they have that, it's like, I mean, it's just somehow this, I hate hearing this every time. I mean, I love to hate hearing it every time. It's like I beat a body down with aluminum bat. I beat a body down with aluminum bat.
Yeah, man. Oh
Beat a body
God.
down with aluminum bat.
Oh gosh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That says it all. And my response to that is going to be long and boring, and it's a visual.
Yeah. I mean,
Dude,
it's like,
aluminum bat. Hell
I beat a
yeah.
body down with aluminum bat.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yep.
I mean,
Man, no, no, no,
Jesus.
no,
I
no.
mean, it's just like that, just like that. That's them.
It's man, that's good.
I mean,
And
we could just talk about it, but I mean, I feel like anybody who watched this should just,
that's it. Yeah, you
that
said
should
it.
be all
And
enough
I
said.
mean, I'll go through a couple of mine, a couple of my other ones. I mean, Elvis, dude, I don't understand. Elvis, The Who, um, the Rolling Stones, and I mean, I get the Beatles nowadays, like with songwriting and production and stuff like that. But
I don't.
I mean,
But
okay, well, fine. I
well, no,
don't
no, no,
either.
no.
But
The songwriting, yeah. I mean, my favorite Beatles songs are covers by, well, just like things I've heard, like people covering stuff. Uh,
yeah, well,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, well, so this goes into like this goes into I don't like doo-wop, you know, and I don't like swing dancey anything, cherry pop and doodads and stuff like that.
Yeah, funk
But
metal.
like any of that stuff. But you know, the Beatles, I don't like them, but I like Oasis, you know. So, and
Right.
in the same way, like I don't like doo-wop, but I like Hall and Oates, and they were clearly trying to be doo-wop, you
Yeah.
know, or you know, but they just missed exactly hard enough to get their own thing. Same thing with Phil Collins, you know, as obviously evidenced by his, you know,
Yeah. Well, I mean, well,
covers.
you're saying
What was
doo-wop, but
Phil?
I guess it's kind of Motown, you know.
Yeah, well,
But see, for me,
it's a
it's
little
I like I'm not I don't Motown is like it's like hey, grab the broom, time to clean, and singing to the end of the broom, while we're listening to
right,
Motown.
right.
I mean,
Yeah. What was the one? Oh, I know. You Can Hurry Love. Phil
yeah,
Collins covered that one. Um, and then
Michael McDonald, he's heavy Motown guy.
same. And yeah, I had another one. Oh yeah, like I love Eddie Money. I love him. I mean, for some
Yeah,
reason, when I hear it, I just, and even the "Be My Little Baby." I mean, somehow with Eddie Money doing that, I can
yeah.
handle just like Ronnie said, just like Ronnie said, "Be my little baby." All that stuff. I mean, I should by every account hate that, but I don't. I don't, you know, because it's just enough of an offshoot to like
Yeah,
it.
man.
So
You know, yeah, it's well, oh man, I don't know. I mean, I wanted to say a couple things about the Beastie Boys, but one thing I am really disliking my hair today, and I'm just like trying to get it to like there we go. I
yeah.
don't know, I'm like, like what is this? What is this? Like Wendy or Lisa or I don't know.
That's good. That is
Um,
good. That is good.
yeah. Okay. Hey, will you talk about something for a second? Talk about
Yeah.
something. I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay. I'll talk about something. I'm going to say that Elvis, man, I mean, it's a twofold thing. I feel like he took an audience away from jazz. He stole stuff from Black people, and I don't think it's good. I just don't think it's good. I think it's a nostalgia trigger for, you know, most of that generation, and that just got passed down, you know, the kids saying or the parents saying you should like this because it was a thing when I grew up. Ooh, same with Pat Boone, you know, like he took the Little Richard stuff and he Pat Booned it, and what was that? Yeah, Tutti Frutti. That's what it was. Tutti Frutti. Not that I loved the Little Richard version or anything, but at least it was authentic and it was stylish and it was going somewhere. So I mean, I think there's just a any of that stuff that gets ripped off without really any credit given bugs me, and stuff that took like it took jazz audiences away from
I'm
from people.
coming. I'm coming.
Okay, I'm gonna
Um,
reiterate it. Here's
damn.
what I said when you were gone. I just said, you know, Elvis ripped off Black people like Pat Boone did, right, with Tutti Frutti, Pat Boone, and um and they also like during that it's a double whammy for me because during that time they took a large, and so did the Beatles, a large audience away from jazz, which I feel like led to its downfall with just
Hmm,
cheap,
man.
crappy, like hip movements and white guys doing black guy stuff, but still not jazz, you know. And so there's
Which
just
is a
no
whole other
reason.
discussion because it's like that's when, jazz musicians started bailing for Europe, which, was a career killer, just like
And
if
they
you go to
still
Europe.
do. They still
Yeah.
do, you know.
That's something. Sorry, there was like a bathtub emergency with a 6-year old. So I got the 12-year-old on it.
Good. Well, and I wanted to mention, I'm not going to talk, but I wanted to mention your breaker box if you have anything else to say about it.
Well, I was just gonna say something about Beastie Boys, you know.
Go
I
for
mean,
it.
I don't even know if it means anything to go back to it, but I had you know, the girl I was dating in at the end of high school, and then the next year I was out of high school. She was a senior. She was just you know, just a complete Beastie Boys type person, you know. I mean, you know, just into that. I mean, that just it's just spoke to her, you know, as it did so many people at my age group. Anyway, so she said it was like 92 or something, maybe. I don't know. They played, there was a club in Dallas. I mean, I don't know if you heard about it. It's like it was like a teen club called Xenon.
Ah, yeah, it sounds familiar.
Like before, you remember how Guitar Center in Arlington, before that it was Guitar Center, it was like a teen club. I can't remember what it was called.
That sounds so familiar. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was one of those things, except in Dallas. And she told me, she was like, "Hey, we're going to see Beastie Boys are playing at Xenon." And, you know, she was like, "So we're going." And I'm like, "All right." You know, I mean, so, I mean, I remember going and it was just kind of like I mean, it was a big teen club, but um, just standing there and just seeing all these kids just going nuts and just like, just being disgusted. I just want to vomit. And, you know, and it's like, I didn't want to, you know, she detected my whatever and
Yeah.
attitude, and it was just, you know, kind of like, I mean, like, what's wrong with you? You know, they're fucking good. They're fucking good. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really. And then, you know, that was like, that could have been like the beginning of the end, you know, because you know, we kind of, yeah, went in decline after that, but
You
you know,
split on the Beastie
slowly.
Boys. Yeah.
Um, because that stuff will do it. You know, people, well, whatever. It's just really into
Well,
it. Let's see. You're talking about
I,
Elvis. I mean, I like that angle.
hang on. Let me get
Sorry.
a one more thing in about the Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
Because when, I remember it happening back then, and then it happens like once every decade since then. I'll be cringing because somebody will be talking about the Beastie Boys. And I'm just like, it's like they're going on, and I'm just shaking my head like, no, 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 no. Just thinking, give me the chance to say that I don't like it. And it and what comes up every decade and what came up back then, I guess in the 90s, is, oh, they played their own instruments on this album.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Uh-uh.
The legitimacy of it.
Oh, wow. That what okay. Oh, okay. So did I mean I feel the same way when people like when Madonna started to play guitar, you know? It was
I
like
didn't know she played guitar.
Madonna's starting to play like her own instrument. And I mean, it doesn't make me hate it any
Yeah,
more than I already
yeah.
did. It just makes you think, yeah, now you just have more credibility behind your attempt to get me to like something that I'm never gonna like ever.
God, man, it's crazy. People are nuts about it. And I just thought of one thing I'd like to add to my impression, my little impression bite.
Okay.
You
Your
know,
impression's great.
I beat a bike back. I beat a bike back. I beat a bike by the back with a load on my back.
Oh God. Oh
Beat it by
God.
the back
So
with a load on my back.
oh my God. Yeah, 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 yeah. You can't do that impression and make that face without being a Beastie Boy
Yeah.
in its teen years. I mean, I know you are as dumb as they are for a second. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful. God. Okay, so you can go
um,
on about Elvis or whatever.
I don't know. I know. I mean, I, you know, getting into, you know, dealing with eight track tapes from the '70s and stuff. You know, it's gotten me into a lot of music that I never would even consider, you know, like wanting to listen to, or that I've seen on vinyl, like just in like shitty thrift store record bins that, you know, I've seen them millions of times, but something, you know, like old country, you know, I've gotten into, and a lot of like easy listening um stuff from the 50s and 60s, like instrumental, and also just like, Andy Williams, Perry Como.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, there is a phase of Elvis where he starts sliding into that Andy Williams, Perry Como stuff. And,
I could see.
you
I
know,
could see.
and I mean, I've found myself enjoying, just like in list, like, hey, do I want to save this or do I want to repurpose this? I listen to the tape and I'm like, I don't mind. I like it, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably
Schmaltzy
gotten it.
period.
He's gotten into the. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's like, sure, maybe when he slips into Fat Elvis, Liberace phase, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, he's hit his I can accept this mark,
Yeah.
you know, but but I still know what led him up to that, and so it still like leaves a pretty bad
Yeah.
taste.
No, yeah, totally. It's just like, I mean, whatever. But I guess he, kind of, yeah, the whole thing about just influencing people to do better things. Uh, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's a couple different spin-off angles we could go with this, but not that I necessarily think, I mean, but I'm thinking like that would be a whole thing. One being the thing of like people insisting that you need to appreciate something, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
and saying like, oh, well, you got to appreciate, at least you have to at least appreciate something. And it's like, I don't have to appreciate anything, and you do
Yes.
you. And despite what you think you've been told or believed, it's like, oh, if you don't like it, then you have to appreciate it. Something.
Riley,
Yeah.
Riley, who, by the way, I had lunch with him a couple days ago. He looked awesome. He was, in court, or he was being a judge that day, and he met me for lunch. He was wearing like a suit with a sweet bow tie,
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's one that, dude, he's tried to get me to listen to the Who just repeatedly throughout the years. I remember him making me a CD, you know, and I'm just like, Riley, I'm never going to listen to this ever. I hate it. I don't like it. I mean, it doesn't move me in any kind of way.
Yeah.
Like,
I
you
like the
can't.
Who. I mean, honestly, I like the Who. I'm not like a super fan, but I like their songs when they come on. I mean, it's just like kind of like one of those things. I mean, I don't goof on their albums, but I like them. And the same with the Stones. I don't really find myself like listening to albums over and over again, but um, I like them. And I guess there's that one album, Let It Bleed. I do like that one a little more, especially. Um, but yeah. Oh
I'll give you my
man.
Stones impression.
Okay.
So
Oh
Milton
man. Yeah.
Milton lived. His next door neighbor was Ronnie Wood. Have I told you that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, so when we went over there last year, a
Yep.
couple years
Hang
ago.
on. Hang on. I gotta go. Shit.
All right,
Yeah,
all
I'm
right, just
coming.
just cut it off. Just cut it off.